Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today because I am in Dana Point Harbor right now, and the party's almost over, guys. About to stop, and got a lot to cover in the economy and banking and everything else. But before I get into it, please take a second. Please like the video. Please hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to join our email list, guys. If you want more uh, updates and things like that, join the email list. And if you want more exclusive content, there is Patreon and the links are below if you'd like those. Now, first things first, right now we are hearing about a potential credit crash. And it's so bad right now when it comes to banking and everything that's going to affect each and every one of us that, start with Janet Yellen first. Janet Yellen right now steps forward this last weekend and says, hey, we may not need to raise interest rates because we may need to just tighten people's credit. The problem with that is that you're going to have credit tightened, and it's not going to be because she has anything to do with it. It's because the banks right now are having a serious problem with how they're making money. And for her to sit there and say, we're just going to, cut people's credit off is nuts right now. I want you to understand that when credit tightens in business, it destroys everything. It destroys deliveries, it destroys fuel costs, it destroys everything from getting manufactured and getting done. You can't have interest rates at zero forever, but you need to understand that credit needs to flow. If the interest rates are high, that's one thing, but what you're going to see is you're going to see banks cut people off, and that's going to be the kiss of death when it comes to the economy. And, just a matter of time. Right now, they anticipate that there is $600 billion in unrealized losses on banks' balance sheets right now. And the thing about this is that banks basically, there's different accounting terms, and I'm going to paraphrase this and make it very simple. When banks sit there and state their historical values that they put on their balance sheets, they can, use the money that they spent for something, okay? And put that on their balance sheet. They don't have to talk about the losses that they have because they haven't sold it yet. So they don't have the losses yet. When you look at Silicon Valley Bank, what happened was they bought long-term treasuries at a very low interest rate. As interest rates went up, they made less money. So when they made less money, they lost money. And then to cover that in selling it, they had to run at the bank and had massive losses. There is $600 billion of that still out there, floating out there, for us to worry about. So the banks have got huge problems that we haven't even, discussed yet. When you talk about banks and interest rates, things are going up. Things are not going to go down, but what you're going to see is things like credit card interest rate and short-term interest rates that you and I pay for our credit lines go up. And with that happening, it's going to destroy business right now. Now, Wells Fargo Bank, man, oh man, you would think Wells Fargo Bank would get the memo because they've been in nothing but trouble. Wells Fargo Bank has made so many mistakes over the last 5 years and been fined so much money. Think about all the money, hundreds of millions of dollars they've been fined. Well, now they have a thing called an MRA, which is a matter requiring action, okay? And Wells Fargo has been notified that they have more internal problems right now with MRAs. And there are things that they were just talked to about this last week, matters requiring attention, matters requiring attention, MRA. These MRAs that they have right now are internal things that they haven't done properly as far as filings, mismanagement as far as reporting. I mean, it's just going to be an absolute nightmare for them, and they know it, and they know they're going to get fined on this stuff again. But with all the fines, all the setting up the fake accounts, all the documentation problems that they've had, you think that they would fix this, and they would say, hey, we're not going to do this. We're not going to be the butt of everybody's joke at this point. No, they did it again. So Wells Fargo's got a major problem right now, and it's just a matter of time until they get, fined or worse right now. So, all these regulators are talking about this. You've got Nouriel Roubini talking about this. He's not a regulator, but he's a, Dr. Doom. You got Bill Gross, the bond king, that's talking about this. And Bill Gross says that the banks have such problems right now that people don't even want to talk about it yet. And you're going to see bank runs. You're going to see the banks have issues where people are going to try to get their cash out of the bank. You've had so much taken out over the course of March since this happened. Staggering numbers right now. And as this trickles in and we hear these figures and you hear about billions of dollars a week getting taken out of these banks, where's it going? Is everybody buying gold right now? I don't know. I don't know. But man, oh man, oh man, is it serious right now? So this harbor is beautiful. I've been down here a few times. Across the way is restaurants over there. It's really nice. And just a really nice spot. And then you've got, a place called Baby Beach behind me. That's that way. About a half mile. It's kind of nice. But you can launch paddle boards and things like that. And if I cross the street up here, you're going to be able to see boats, leave the inlet. And it's kind of nice. But this place right now is going through, a huge remodel. Hundreds of millions of dollars is being spent out here. And they just let the first boats back into the boat slip after the first remodel. So it's nice and peaceful out here in mornings like this. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, because the banking situation, the banking crisis, remember this. Get ready for the credit crunch, okay? Get ready for this because you're going to see major problems with this. Don't just take my word for it. Look at the people that write me and look at the business people from around the country. I'm going to use one person for an example, which is Julie. Julie deals with PenFed Credit Union, okay? PenFed Credit Union. Julie used to be able to transfer to and from the account $25,000 in a day, okay? And she's like, Dan, I never had the need to do that. But lately, starts reading different documents and starting to look at things and goes, hey, I do want to transfer money from Bank A to PenFed and PenFed out of it to a different bank at different times. And they said, nope, new limit, $5,000 a day. That's the maximum you can do. Now, if that doesn't concern you, that they're cutting this off by, lowering it 20% of what it should be 25 grand a day. And again, not everybody has the need to transfer $25,000. But what if Julie has relatives? Julie's going to help somebody buy a house. Julie wants to buy a new car. Julie wants to do something. No, it's 5 grand a day. Okay? That's crazy. Okay? So I've looked at this, and my bank, $50,000 a day is what you can do. But that's the most you can do. The idea with it is if you had a big purchase, you could do it over the course of a few days and get your money in there. But $5,000 a day makes it a bigger problem. And then the ATM limits. More and more people right now are getting the ATM limits shut off to where they don't have thousands of dollars a day, they have $500 a day. And you can sit there and say, Dan, I've never taken $500 out of the ATM. It's not for today, it's for when you need it. It's for the emergency that you need $1,500. Bank of America, on the business accounts, generally it's $1,000 a day is the most that somebody can get set up. Rarely. Personal accounts, which this doesn't make sense, they'll let people go as high as $1,500 a day unless you are, some extreme client. So what are your limits? What are you looking at? Have you looked at this before? But transferring money, the fact that they're limiting things like this, that's a concern. The fact that the banks, more and more people are saying, Dan, I went into Truist Bank. Dan, I went into this credit union, and they would not let me look at my account until I agreed to the new terms. And it's 48 pages. No one reads that because why are you in there? You're looking there because you have business to conduct. You want to get to the bottom line of what's in your account. And when that happens, you want to, click, 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 get through it. Okay? Well, you just agreed that now your, limits have been cut. And that's what Julie found out, was that her limits were cut from $25,000 down to $5,000 a day. That's a concern, and you should look at your bank immediately about this stuff. Okay? So let me know if you ran into this at all. You know, in our last video, one thing we talked about was Chicago and, you know, how bad things were there. Well, they got worse over the weekend where kids just wreaked havoc downtown. Hundreds and hundreds of kids communicated via social media and just went on a terror spree, going into businesses, stealing things, blasting music, wreaking havoc, going after tourists. Okay, you know, where are the parents, first of all? Okay, there's that. Oh yeah, there are no parents. Okay, it's ridiculous, guys, absolutely ridiculous. But you're destroying the city and destroying the business, and people are going to leave. They're going to leave faster than ever. Remember that. Listen to seals over there. Okay, just hanging out. All these seals right here, big fat seals just hanging out. But they go next to the fishing boats. They're not stupid. They know how to get fed. So funny, but Chicago's just done. Okay, if you don't have consequences for these kids, you have nothing. You have no community. You know, our future is doomed. I've become my father, to say the least. Okay, so there's that. The other thing is every now and then you get people that talk about things over and over and over again. The latest is Senator Ted Cruz talking about abolishing the IRS. Okay, it's ridiculous. What he's upset about right now is he's upset about the tip reporting for waiters and waitresses. Okay, which who would be happy with this? Okay, the idea with it is the IRS thinks that they can get $166 billion because they think that the waiters and waitresses of the world are stiffing the IRS on this. And if they squeeze them, they're going to get more tax dollars out of them. Horrible, guys. Absolutely horrible. You know, I've never met a rich waitress. Okay, I really haven't. Okay, so share your thoughts on that. But again, the $64,000 question is, if you get rid of the IRS, what do you replace it with? Okay, sales tax. We've talked about all this stuff, and it'll never happen. It's ridiculous. You bring up that. You bring up the gold standard. You bring up, a national sales tax, whatever. Okay, but you have to have some type of solution because you have to have a business of the government that's got to make money. Look at those guys. Isn't that cool? So, share your thoughts on this stuff so far. And look at that big fat seal just sitting there. Wow, wow, wow. So it's nice to see this stuff, but they go by all the fishing boats, like I said, and just okay. Let me know what you think. It's a beautiful day out here, and you got people going in and out of the harbor, and boats leaving. Just really nice. As the economy gets worse, the scams go up, and a friend of mine sent me this one where, hey, we've got financial assistance for you. All you need to do is fill this out and give us your name, address, social, mother's maiden name, everything, and you'll get your money right away. Okay? No, it's a scam, guys. Don't fill this stuff out. And the problem with it is people that are desperate do this. John sent me something that is insane. Somebody is impersonating the FBI and wrote an email to him like it was Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI. I mean, there's a couple felonies there at least, okay? So, crazy. So, saying that, hey, we have been looking through COVID funds and we realize that you're owed $10.3 million. Yeah, I'm sure Christopher Wray, he's been monitoring that himself. Look at the seal right there, see it? So, yeah, Christopher Wray is monitoring that himself. Is that insanity? Okay, absolutely nuts, guys, that this is done. Now, RV dealership, here's one for you, out in back east. Now, here's one scam that is absolutely disturbing, and people's lives have been destroyed by this one. And that is, there's an RV dealership in Colorado. And what they did was they went out and they advertised that they had consignment capabilities and you could drop off your RV. You owe money on it? Don't worry about it. We'll sell it. We'll get rid of it for you. We'll get a new buyer. They'll take over your payments, sell it, get a new loan, take care of all the DMV paperwork, and you won't have a thing to worry about. And people are like, oh, get rid of this problem. Because like their timeshares, like their different, vacation vehicles and, Sea-Doos and motorcycles and things like that, people cannot afford these payments right now. Problem with this dealership was they took the money and sold the vehicles, didn't do the proper transfer, didn't do proper titles, didn't pay the loans off for these people. So these people got completely screwed and are left holding the bag for all this money right now. This is catastrophic. This is horrible right now for these people. So, it's just a matter of time until, it's going to make people bankrupt as a result of this. But, dealership goes out of business. When you do this, I have heard so many stories about this. I have heard of high-end vehicles. There's a place in San Diego that did it. I had a friend of mine, doctor friend of mine, that, going through a divorce, wanted to get rid of an extra car, BMW. Oh, this thing is beautiful. We'll sell this thing right away. Brings it out. We haven't sold it yet, haven't sold it yet. Only problem is they sold it 5 months, earlier than they said they did and never gave her the money. She had to sue them to get her money and eventually got a check. And she was one of the lucky ones because she got a lawyer, then sued right away. They wrote her a check and then went out of business. So again, very lucky. But this is how bad it is. It's going to only get worse, and you're going to see more and more of this. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. Have you ever been fallen victim to this stuff? But somebody writing a letter and saying that they're part of the FBI, that is insanity. That is absolutely nuts, because I'm sure impersonating a federal officer has got to be just a felony festival. Okay? So share your thoughts on that. There are certain people in business that I like to read about because over time, they have a track record. And over time, you can sit there and say, oh, this person knows what he's talking about. Very consistent. There's a guy at Bank of America named Michael Hartnett. Michael Hartnett is a conservative guy, not really on top of things, not really risky. But here's the thing that he's talking about right now. He's saying that right now, we are entering the fourth bear market for the dollar in the last 50 years. And that people need to understand that this is going to be a downturn. And from this downturn, things are headed south. And again, you don't have to listen to this guy. You don't have to believe a thing he's saying. But the point is that this is a guy who's not, hey, buy this, buy that. It's going to shoot up. His whole thing has just been conservative, fiscal conservativeness all this time. And it's a warning. So take a look at the story below on that guy. And then out of the New York Post, they're talking about how, hey, listen, right now, the lenders are doing something horrific where they're taking people with lower credit scores and lower income and giving them incentives to buy homes right now. And this is catastrophic because it's going to cost the rest of us when these people go under and they lose their homes. Because the idea with this is they need to turn things over, so they'll give you a teaser payment. They will give you lower fees. They'll do different things to get people in a home loan and say, look, you're a homeowner, okay? The house you bought for $400,000 is now worth $280,000, but you're a homeowner and you're going to be bankrupt, but you're a homeowner. Congratulations, you're a homeowner, okay? So this is going to destroy the rest of us during this time. So share your thoughts on that stuff. But again, we are seeing the no income qualifying loans. We are seeing the stated income loans again. We are seeing complete shenanigans that we've never seen, since 2006, 2007. It's happening again right now, right before our eyes. Remember, guys, if it quacks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, swims like a duck, la 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 la, it's a duck, okay? My favorite thing right now is EV loans, okay? Green loans. You know what you need? If you're going to buy an EV car, you need to go out and you need to get yourself a green loan. Okay, well, what's that, Dan? Well, a green loan is an environmental loan. It's better than a regular bank loan because it's tied to the environment. Okay, please understand how insane this is. This is you borrowing money and then calling it anything. They might as well call it the shenanigans loan because it means nothing, okay? But green loans, that's what the new thing is. And the best thing about green loans is they usually have a better interest rate than a conventional loan, which they don't, okay? It's the teaser that you have. Also, they have longer terms for your EV car. So if you want to buy an EV car, you can get a longer term loan so that you can survive this nightmare. Okay? Okay, it's ridiculous. Lending money to people and calling it anything you want is lending people money. It's not making a bit of difference to them. You know, they're borrowing money. They're in debt for this. The fact that people, we talked about this in the last video, how all the car payments are going up right now. People are borrowing more than ever. People's payments are upside down. They're more than ever right now. But you want to call it a green loan. Hey, listen, we bought the EV car and we got green financing. Okay? Yeah, you're an idiot. And people that believe that are stupid. Now, China just had the China Auto Show, the EV Auto Show. And there are 50 new brands that are officially to market right now that are at the Chinese Auto Show. It is a matter of time until the market is completely saturated and that there are hundreds of more EV cars out there. So, you know, get your green financing, okay? I am telling you this right now. You're going to have different financing for different things, and they're going to name things different. Oh, that's a great idea. This Dan guy's onto something. You know what? He's stupid. He's clearly selling doom. That's the other thing. I love you guys that write me and say that I'm selling doom when I'm selling stories based on the news from over 50 news sources. So if that's doom, that's where we're at, guys. This right now, I'm telling you this right now. You mark my words. You can play this video back, you know, until your mom leaves my house. The point is that what you're going to experience right now is only going to get worse. The people that have prepared, the people that have, you know, battened down the hatches, saved their money, bootstrapped their company, didn't borrow themselves to oblivion, don't owe $80,000 in credit card debt. Okay? Crazy. That's low. Okay? The people that have paid off stuff right now, those are the people that are going to weather this storm. You mark my words, because the storm's coming and it's only going to get worse right now. Whether you want to own gold, you want to own silver, think about this. Gold's at an all-time high right now. Silver's still at what, 25 bucks an ounce right now? Half of what the all-time high is. Should look at that right now, to say the least, because you do have upside potential. And again, you know, for those of you who like Bitcoin, you know, if you follow Michael Saylor believes that it's a screaming buy right now. So share your thoughts on this stuff right now. But get ready, guys, whatever it takes. Make sure you have water prep in the house. Make sure you have food set aside for a long period of time. Make sure you have money set aside. Make sure you have cash. Make sure you have things like gold. Can't eat gold, Dan. Okay. So, whose advice would you follow? Okay? Share that. Who out there is somebody you sit there and say, oh, Dan, this guy's got it all going on right now? Okay? Let me know. Let me know below. Okay? Because I know a lot of people, and I'm amazed that certain people follow certain people that aren't even in business, don't even know what they're talking about. But let me know. Let me know who I should be following, who I should get my news from. Let me know. I'm going to end this video with these last few stories. And banks are finally having to pay people more interest on savings accounts. So you should look at that. You should look at protecting your money with your bank. But again, it's not keeping up with inflation. Talked to 2 people today that got their COLA increases for their pensions. Both of them did not meet the inflationary requirements to match inflation. So they're losing money every month. And I explained that to them and they got it, to say the least. Final 2 stories, I couldn't pick which one I wanted to share because I want to share them both. And the first one is 46% of the people out there have diagnosed themselves with different allergies and different conditions by reading things on the internet. Oh, this is what I've got, so I get this medication. Is that insane? Not talking to a doctor or getting a professional or doing, one of those allergy tests. They just self-diagnose. Okay? That's crazy. Now, the other thing, I love Study Finds. It's great. Studyfinds.org. It's always got good stuff. It also, 42% of people out there say that people are more toxic right now. People are screaming more. People are yelling more. People are fighting more. Men do more cat calls at women, which I don't hear much of. Okay? So I stopped doing that when I was about 19. But you know what I mean. So, but people are just have road rage, and it's terrible. Okay? So, you think it's 42%? I think people are just angry in general. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, if you want more content, there's Patreon. And also, don't forget the email list, Onward and Upward, guys. If you want to send me a story, don't just send me a link to a video, because they don't send them to me. When you do that, make sure it's as detailed as possible. Say what the story's about, like what Julie did, and share your thoughts, guys. I cannot wait to see this stuff. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. I hope you enjoyed the boatyard, because it's fantastic out here.